Hello Swatantra viewers. Welcome to English News Bulletin. I am Mahima, bringing you the latest updates. A delegation led by Minister for Irrigation N. Uttam Kumar Reddy, Minister of Transport, along with Ministers Ponnam Prabhakar, D. Sridhar Babu, Komtireddy Venkat Reddy, and Pamuleti Srinivas Reddy, visited the Medigadda barrage on Friday. The ministers examined the Medigadda barrage at Mahadevpur Mandal in Jaishankar Bhupalpalli district. The state government will soon present a detailed presentation for the Kaleshwaram lift irrigation project. The PowerPoint presentation highlighted the Telangana region's unfavorable topography. The Godavari River, flowing at an altitude below 200 meters, is a challenge for water diversion to the higher altitudes of Telangana. The ministers asked the irrigation engineers and Engineer-in-Chief C. Muralidhar, who were present at the site, to address the issues raised either in written form or at a future review meeting. The ministers and legislators alleged that there were large-scale irregularities in the project, and there was a need to bring them out before people with the judicial and technical inquiries not only into the damage suffered by Medigadda and other barrages, but also into the irregularities. The KCR government had changed the Pranhita Chevilla project into Kaleshwaram, which deviated from the original engineering plans. Telangana government will pursue national project status for Palmuru Rangareddy lift irrigation scheme and also take up Pranahita barrage, the head barrage, as part of the original Pranahita Chevilla project after re-examining the proposal at Tummidihatti, Uttam Kumar Reddy said during a review meeting on the damage suffered by Kaleshwaram project barrages.
ఇది నిస్సందేహం చాలా దురదృష్టకరం. ఎక్కడో చాలా సీరియస్ లోపాలు జరిగినాయి. డిజైన్లో కానీ నిర్మాణంలో కానీ ఆపరేషన్ మెయింటెనెన్స్ కానీ సీరియస్ లోపాలు జరిగి మూడు బ్యారేజెస్కి ఇప్పుడు ప్రమాదంలో ఉన్నాయి. ఇది గత ప్రభుత్వ నిర్వాహకం ఒక్కసారి ఆలోచన చేయండి. ఇప్పటివరకు కాళేశ్వరం ప్రాజెక్టుపై ఖర్చు పెట్టిన సొమ్ము 93,500 కోట్ల రూపాయలు. మన అందరి జీవితాలు బ్యాంకులలో తాకట్టు పెట్టి హై కాస్ట్ లోన్స్ తీసుకొచ్చి మరి ఇటువంటి ప్రాజెక్టులు నిర్మించిన వాళ్లపై ప్రజలు కూడా మరి వాళ్ళు ఏ విధంగా పనిచేశారు, ఇది వాళ్ళ పనితీరుకు నిదర్శనం అని చెప్పి నేను మనవి చేస్తాను. వేడిగడ్డ బ్యారేజ్ మీద ఓహో అని ఎంత మొత్తుకున్నారు. అసలు అంతర్జాతీయంగా ఎవరొచ్చినా తీసుకొచ్చి చూపెట్టి ప్రపంచంలో ఇంత అద్భుతమైన ప్రాజెక్టులు ఏం చెప్పారు. ఇది వాళ్ళు చేస్తున్న పని.
The Bharat Rashtra Samiti is gearing up for the upcoming Lok Sabha elections. The party will hold a series of Lok Sabha constituency-wise preparatory meetings starting from 3rd January. These meetings will be held in the absence of BRS President and former Chief Minister K. Chandrasekhar Rao, who is taking rest after hip replacement surgery at his residence. Under the instructions of BRS Party President KCR, BRS Working President K. Tharka Rama Rao, Party Secretary General K. Keshava Rao, former Speaker Madhusudnachari, former Ministers T. Harish Rao, Kadiya Srihari, Pocharam Srinivas Reddy, G. Jagdish Reddy, V. Prashant Reddy, S. Niranjan Reddy, and other important leaders will be part of these meetings in Telangana Bhavan. The meetings will be conducted into phases. In the first phase, the meetings will be held from 3rd January to 12th January. The second phase will kick off on 16th January after a 3-day break for the Sankranti festival. All the key leaders from each parliament segment will be invited to attend these meetings. Members of Lok Sabha from the respective constituencies, MLAs of the respective assembly segments falling under each Lok Sabha constituency, MLCs, former MPs, former MLAs, ZP chairpersons, former ZP chairpersons, mayors, former mayors, municipal chairpersons, former municipal chairpersons, former corporation chairpersons, constituency in charges, district party presidents, public representatives, and other important leaders will take part in these meetings. Telangana State Public Service or TSPSC aspirants poured out their grievances at the Prajavni program held here on Friday. The majority of candidates and job seekers vented their frustration at the delay in holding examinations. A group of aspirants vented their frustration and demanded that the government appoint a committee to probe into irregularities. The Prajavani program received applications from people at Jyotirao Phule Praja Bhavan. Undeterred by the chilly weather, people turned up in large numbers for the program from across the state. A group of candidates, who had applied for the police constable and sub-inspectors examinations, demanded that the government constitute a fact-finding committee to go into the irregularities in the Police Recruitment Board's notification issued on 25 April 2022. Prajavani Nodal Officer D. Harichandana received the applications from people. She assured the people that all their grievances would be resolved. The total crime cases in Telangana increased by 8.79% in the year 2023. Cybercrime case went up by 13,895 to 16,339 in 2023, according to Director General of Police Ravi Gupta. The Director General of Police released the Annual Crime Report 2023 on Friday. There was an increase in the overall crime rate across the state compared to the previous year. This year the police registered 2,13,121 cases against 195,580 to the previous year. Compared to last year, cybercrime cases too increased significantly this year, with a total of 163,39 cases reported in 2023 against 13895 cases in 2022, the DGP said. This year the police also registered a total of 11,080 FIRs. Of the 73 rape cases registered this year, 84 people involved were sentenced to life imprisonment. This year, DGP said a total of 1360 drug cases had been registered under NDPS across the state. Compared to last year, drug cases increased by 15.6%. Police arrested 2,583 persons in drug cases and seized 25,260 kilograms of marijuana. In 2023, a total of 1877 cases of prevention of atrocities against SC Cent cases have been registered across the state.
We shall be extremely tough with those dealing with drugs. A zero tolerance policy has been outlined and will be followed as far as drugs are concerned. Anyone engaged in drug dealing, whether selling, purchasing, facilitating or possessing, shall be dealt with stringently as per applicable laws of the land. No one will be spared, however big or small he might be. Anyone allowing their premises to be used for drugs will be severely dealt with, be it bars, pubs, clubs, farmhouses, or even private homes. In case drugs are used, it will be dealt with stringently. Coming to crime statistics, a total of 1,38,312 cases were reported during the year. This is up to the end of November. The details are given in the annual report, the booklet which has been given to you. If we look at a macro level, overall there was an increase of 9% in the number of cases registered. Why so? It was because of the 17.59% increase in cybercrime. The total property loss was about ₹151 crores, out of which property worth ₹81 crores was recovered, which gives a percentage of about 53%.
Chief Minister Y.S. Jagan Mohan Reddy released 584 crore rupees under Jagananna Vidya Divina with the click of a button here on Friday. He said the amount, released towards total fee reimbursement for the quarter July to September 2023, would benefit 809,039 students. So far, a total of 27,61,000 students received fee reimbursement amounting to 11,900 crore rupees under Vidya Divina, 4,275 crore rupees under Vasati Divina. The government incurred 18,576 crore rupees under these two schemes, including 1,777 crore rupees arrears kept pending by the TDP rule. Stating that the government has so far disbursed rupees 45,000 crore under DBT schemes, the Chief Minister asked people to think why N. Chandrababu Naidu failed to implement these schemes during his tenure.
Final year విద్యార్థులకు చివరి ఇన్స్టాల్మెంట్ గా చెల్లించాల్సిన ఫీజును కూడా ముందుగా ప్రీవియస్ క్వార్టర్స్ లోనే వారి తల్లుల ఖాతాల్లోకి ఇప్పటికే జమ చేశాం. ఈరోజు ఈ 4.5 సంవత్సరాల కాలం ఈ ప్రయాణం ఒక్కసారి గమనించినట్టయితే కేవలం ఈ ఒక్క పథకం జగనన్న విద్యా దీవెన అనే ఒకే ఒక్క పథకం ద్వారా అక్షరాల 27,61,000 మంది పిల్లలకు 27,61,000 మంది పిల్లలకు వాళ్ళ పూర్తి ఫీజులు ఏమాత్రం కూడా ఆ పిల్లలు కానీ ఆ పిల్లల తల్లిదండ్రులు కానీ ఏమాత్రం కూడా ఇబ్బంది పడకూడదు అని ఆ పిల్లల తరపున ఆ పిల్లల తల్లులు అంటే నా అక్కలు నా చెల్లెమ్మల తరపున ఆ పిల్లలకు ఒక మంచి మేనమామగా అక్షరాల 27,61,000 మంది పిల్లలకు మంచి జరిగిస్తూ కేవలం ఈ జగనన్న విద్యా దీవెన అనే ఒకే ఒక్క పథకం ద్వారా అక్షరాల ఇచ్చింది 11,900 కోట్ల రూపాయలని కూడా చెప్పడానికి గర్వపడతా ఉన్నా.
Andhra Pradesh Crime Investigation sent notices to Telugu Desam National General Secretary Nara Lokesh about the so-called Red Book case. The CID officials approached the Anti-Corruption Bureau court alleging that Lokesh had been threatening them. Following court instructions, the CID officials sent the notices to Lokesh via WhatsApp on Friday. Lokesh confirmed receipt of the notices through a reply to the CID on WhatsApp. The ACB court has postponed further hearings to 9th January. It may be recalled that Lokesh during his Yuvagalam Padyatra meeting stated that the names of officials and leaders who were involved in harassment of TDP cadre, corruption and illegalities were being recorded in the so-called Red Book and stern action would be taken after TDP coming to power in the 2024 elections. He threatened to subject the officials who arrested the TDP to severe punishments. Chief Minister Y.S. Jagan Mohan Reddy on Friday skewered former Chief Minister N. Chandrababu Naidu for achieving nothing though he was the Chief Minister for 14 years. There were no achievements to his credit, he said, speaking at a public meeting. Shortly after releasing financial aid to students towards fee reimbursement, Jagan Mohan Reddy pointed out that Naidu spent his entire tenure indulging in scams and pursuing the policy of plunder. The TDP chief has no political values and credibility except telling lies, cheating people and backstabbing. Flaying the Jana Sena chief Pavan Kalyan, he said that the actor, who was rejected by the local people in the last elections, is a non-local residing in the neighbouring state with no address in Andhra Pradesh. In what way people would benefit if Naidu worked for his gang of thieves having no concern for the poor and Pavan Kalyan who took packages could not become a leader.
మనసు కూడా రాని ఒక ఆయన పరిపాలనను మనం చూసాం. ఆ మనిషి ఆ పెద్ద మనిషి 3 సార్లు ఆయన ముఖ్యమంత్రిగా పనిచేశాడు. 14 సంవత్సరాలు ఆయన ముఖ్యమంత్రిగా పనిచేశాడు కానీ ప్రజలకు మంచి చేయాలి అని చెప్పి ఆ అధికారాన్ని ఉపయోగించలేదు. ఆ అధికారాన్ని కేవలం తన అవినీతి కోసం మాత్రమే ఉపయోగించాడు. ఆ అధికారం ద్వారా వచ్చిన అవినీతితో వాటాదారులైన దుష్ట చతుష్టయానికి బిస్కెట్లు వేసినట్టుగా వాళ్లకు పంచాడు. జన్మభూమి కమిటీలతో మొదలెడితే ఏకంగా ఓ ఈనాడు, ఓ ఆంధ్రజ్యోతి, ఓ TV5, ఓ చంద్రబాబు నాయుడు, వీళ్ళందరికీ తోడు ఒక దత్తపుత్రుడు. వీళ్ళందరూ కూడా అధికారంతో ఏం చేశారు అని అంటే ప్రజలకు మంచి చేసిన చరిత్ర లేదు. ప్రజలు గుర్తు పెట్టుకునే విధంగా పరిపాలన చేసిన చరిత్ర లేదు. ఆ అధికారంతో కేవలం దోచుకున్నది పంచుకోవడం మాత్రమే జరిగాయి అని చెప్పి ఆలోచన చేయమని కోరుతా ఉన్నాను మీ అందరితో కూడా.
TDP chief N. Chandrababu Naidu on Friday said that Kuppam served as a role model for the Telugu state. Kuppam embodied people's governance and a homeland. Speaking at the public meeting at Kuppam, the former chief minister said that Kuppam and Hindupur are consistently TDP strongholds. Highlighting TDP's good governance approach to the contrary of YSRCP's ignorance, Naidu said that despite government neglect, he claimed that he prioritized micro-irrigation in the constituency, resulting in increased crop production. Kuppam is now suitable for diverse crops. The YSRCP government disrupted program. He said that he was committed to bringing back this initiative. He requested the senior citizens to compare Kuppam's development over the past 30 years. Progress occurred during his tenure, while neglect followed when he out of power, he felt.
ఈ కుప్పం నియోజకవర్గాన్ని ఒక ఆదర్శ నియోజకవర్గంగా తయారు చేయాలనేది నా సంకల్పం. నేను అడుగుతున్నా వైఎస్ఆర్ కాంగ్రెస్ నాయకుల్ని వచ్చి చెప్తున్నారు మీరేం చేశారని. నేను అడుగుతున్నా వీళ్ళందరినీ ఏం చేశామో ప్రతి ఒక్క గ్రామానికి వచ్చుడు ఒక సిమెంట్ రోడ్డు కనపడొస్తుంది. నువ్వు నడిచేది మేము వేసిన రోడ్ల మీద, నువ్వు చూసేది మేము వేసిన ఎల్ఈడి బల్బుల దీంట్లోనే చూస్తున్నావు. ఇంకొక పక్క మీ పిల్లలు చదువుకుని బిడ్డ స్కూల్స్ లోనే కాలేజీల్లోనే అవునా కాదా తమ్ముళ్ళు అని అడుగుతున్నా. మీరు తాగే నీళ్లు నేను కట్టిన పాలారు పైన చెక్ డ్యాముల ద్వారానే అవునా కాదా అని మిమ్మల్ని అడుగుతున్నా. ఒక మాట చెప్పాలంటే కుప్పాన్నే ఒక ఎడ్యుకేషన్ హబ్ గా తయారు చేయాలనుకున్నా. ఇప్పుడు అలాంటి పిల్లలు నేను చూస్తున్నా, వాడికి ఏం అర్థం కాదు కానీ నా మీద నమ్మకం ఆ తల్లికి ఆ తండ్రికి ఆ పిల్లలకి. దానికంటే ఏం కావాలో అడుగుతున్నా.
The BJP is set to contest the 2024 Lok Sabha polls on the plank of Hindutva by projecting Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Congress leader Shashi Tharoor said on Friday. In a post on X, Tharoor noted that Modi is set to inaugurate the Ram Temple in Ayodhya on 22nd January and the Babs Hindu Temple in Abu Dhabi on 14th February, following which the general election would be announced. The Congress MP said the Lok Sabha election is shaping up to be a Hindutva versus popular welfare battle, and questions on economic growth, creating 2 crore jobs a year and putting disposable income into the pockets of every Indian need to be debated. In 2024, it is clear that the BJP will now revert to its core message and offer Narendra Modi to the nation as a Hindu Hriday Samrat, he added. All of this begs the question, what happened to Achhe Din? What happened to 2 crore jobs a year? What happened to economic growth that would benefit the lower rungs of the socio-economic ladder? What happened to putting disposable income into the pockets and bank accounts of every Indian? He asked. Drugs Control Administration of Telangana State unearthed counterfeit and spurious drugs racket in Hyderabad on Friday, according to the statement issued by the Director General V.B. Kamalsan Red. On the basis of the intelligence gathered by the officers of Drugs Control Administration conducted raids at various locations. The spurious drugs were smuggled into Telangana state from Kashipur, Uttarakhand. The raids led to seizure of spurious drugs worth Rs 26 lakh. On credible information regarding shipping of spurious drugs to Hyderabad through a courier shipping company by name Trakan Couriers Private Limited, the special team carried out raids at courier offices located at Dilsukhnagar and Uppal and found that 2 parcels each weighing 14.5 kilograms and 13.34 kilograms respectively. The special team also carried out raids at residences of Puvada Lakshman, Okla Ramesh and Garpalli Purnachandar. Mane's top election official has ruled that Donald Trump cannot run for president next year in the state, citing a constitutional insurrection clause. Secretary of State Shayna Bellows said Trump was not eligible because of his actions leading up to the U.S. Capitol riot in 2021. Mane now joins Colorado as the 2 states to ban Trump from the ballot. Hours after Mane's decision, California announced that Trump would remain on the ballot. Bellows' 34-page ruling says Trump must be removed from Mane's primary ballot because of the 14th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution, which bans anyone from holding office that has engaged in insurrection or rebellion. In her order, Bellows, a Democrat, says that Trump over the course of several months and culminating on 6 January 2021, used a false narrative of election fraud to inflame his supporters and direct them to the Capitol. Trump faces upcoming trials for his alleged efforts to overturn his 2020 loss to Democrat Joe Biden. He has not been charged with inciting insurrection in either case. His campaign swiftly criticized Bellows' decision. Trump's 2024 presidential candidacy has been challenged in multiple states on the grounds that the 14th Amendment bans him from holding office. Bihar Chief Minister Nitish Kumar was elected Janata Dal United President on Friday at the meeting of the party's national executive, which lauded his role in bringing together opposition parties and spearheading the demand for caste census. Party's chief spokesperson K.C. Tyagi said Kumar has agreed to take over the mantle from Lalan Singh. Singh stepped down at the closed-door meeting and proposed Kumar's name, saying his leadership will be needed at this crucial juncture in the run-up to the 2024 Lok Sabha polls while he will be busy fighting his own election. He currently represents Munger constituency in Lok Sabha. The National Council meeting of the party, scheduled to be held later in the day, will ratify decisions, including on his presidency, taken in the executive meeting. Equity indices Sensex and Nifty declined on the last trading day of 2023 as investors preferred profit-taking after the recent sharp rally, finishing a record-setting year with benchmarks surging by up to 20%. After a 5-day winning run, selling pressure emerged in energy, banking, and IT counters on Friday, which dragged indices lower, traders said. The 30-share BSE Sensex fell 170.12 points or 0.23% to settle at 72,240.26 after a weak beginning to the trade. During the day, it dropped 327.74 points or 0.45% to 72,082.64. The wider gauge Nifty declined 47.30 points or 0.2% to settle at 21,731.40. In intraday trade, the index slipped 101.8 points or 0.46% to 21,676.90. In 2023, the BSE benchmark jumped 11,399.52 points or 18.73%. And the Nifty climbed 3,626.1 points or 20%. Among the Sensex firms, State Bank of India, Infosys, Titan, Tech Mahindra, IndusInd Bank, NTPC, ICICI Bank, Power Grid, Reliance Industries, and Kotak Mahindra Bank were the major laggards. On the other hand, Tata Motors, Nestle, Hindustan Unilever, Tata Steel, Bajaj Finance, and Ultratech Cement were among the gainers. Thank you for watching Swatantra TV English Bulletin. For a complete and comprehensive English news bulletin, please do watch Swatantra TV. This is Mahima, signing off for the day. Keep watching Swatantra TV.